Welcome back, you guys. This is your girl, Wicked Raider 22, coming at you with another episode of, we should probably call these the Chronicles of a Beginner, because that's what it feels like at this point. So, currently, you guys are probably working through clan versus clan. Hopefully, that is working pretty well for you. But here's something that I thought about the other day. I got a comment that asks, beyond a champion and beyond being able to pick the perfect gear, name something else in Raid Shadow Legends that can enhance your champions and overall your account. And I had to really pause and think about it. And I was going through, made it to the screen, and it caught my attention. If you have not dived into Masteries, this is the time. This is the video for you. By far, the number one thing that I can say that I've done, I've kind of studied, started working on, really pushing for is to gain the scrolls needed in order to simply acquire all the masteries needed for my champion. So we're looking at Elhain, and this is one of those experiences where you can actually go in, and I'm going to refresh her. So we're going to reset her for free. I always appreciate that one. There's a little cost that's going to come. It will let you reset it for a number of times. But if you have not gone to Minotaur's dungeon, one of the number one reasons why it was one of the first dungeons that many of us try to go in and complete is so that you can run your champions at the top level over and over again and start farming those scrolls. So as you guys can see easily, we have a couple of scrolls here at the top. I've managed to run probably about 50 to 60 multi-battles back to back, just trying to boost up my champions. What each of these areas will do is they all have different potentials. But the limitation is, though you have offense, defense, and support, you have to go in and make a selection on where you would like to start. I encourage everyone to first go through and familiarize yourself or revisit these skills of your champion. So we are actually dealing with Miss Elhain. As you can see, skill wise, my girl is ready to go. I've gotten her to level 50. I am going to go ahead and push her to level 60. I just have to build up some champions that I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm also really hoping that I can go in once my account is able to do blessings and awakenings for this particular free to play account. I can do that as well. So Elhain, starting champion, of course, she has keen shots. It is an attack base hit. So we know that this is a champion that is all about attack. We know that even with Lightning Arrow, her second attack, we're looking at increasing crit rate, of course, still attack base. It will attack one enemy, then all enemies. And it is really her second skill that I want to enhance the most. So I'm looking at when she's able to hit that one target and then all targets, how can I maximize that particular damage? I'm also putting in the back of my mind that her third one, Valley of Depth, is another attack all enemy skill. So, and she will do this 2 times. And then her aura, of course, increases ally HP in all battles by 15%. At this point in the game, we are, I believe, level 39 or so. And so by now, most of you have pulled a champion whose aura is going to give you a higher percentage, either with HP, attack, or speed, that's higher than 15%. So her aura is not going to be my main focus. As I move into it, we're going to take a look and figure out where we want to go. Since she is not a support-based champion overall, I'm going to kind of avoid this area in particular. It's not difficult for me to keep her alive because I do have support champions that can do that. But this is one of the accounts where I'm pushing myself clan v clan because I would really like to earn a really good reviver. That's one thing that I think I could benefit from the most. I do have Apothecary on this account. I will be building him up. I have what is it? Miscreated Monster is another one. He's really good, but I'm looking for kind of the hunger kind of feel when it comes to revival. So for Elhain, I'm going to focus between offense and defense. If I come here at the very beginning level, you have to pick one in each category. So we can either do Blade Disciple, where this is going to increase our attack by 75, or we can also pick Crit Rate for Deadly Precision, and this will give us an increase of 5%. I'm kind of half and half on that one. But if I go back out and take a look at her total stats, this is something else I want to keep in mind. I know crit rate for me is a huge struggle. We're only at 45% on El Hain. I definitely want to build up her speed. I currently have her at 131. I would love her accuracy, of course, to be at 100%. Crit damage is another area. So there are a number of areas where we can definitely come in and see a difference. And we will see all the work that we're able to accomplish here under Masteries. This is something else you want to keep in mind. It's also a good indicator of where you need to put your focus at for the Great Hall. So for Masteries, we're going to start pretty simple, and you will often have to go back and reset these based on the team members that are surrounding your champion and also based on what level. So at what level did you set up your Masteries compared to where your account is currently? I think between crit rate and, of course, attack, I normally go for the plus 75 only because, and the crit rate is so low. So I'm going to start here. We're going to just go for it. Under defense, you have Tough Skin, which will increase defense by 75, or you have Defiance, which increases resistance. On the champion, depending on if you're running Doom Tower by now, if you're running those deeper levels of Spider, for example, it kind of dictates what direction you would like to go in. For me right now, I think I'm going to go in and let's just go for the defense one. This is going to be your reminder that this branch will be unlocked, but the other branch, as you can see for support, is now locked. Based on how many scrolls you have remaining, everything on the second row will cost you 30 scrolls. So we can either do crit damage for 10%, which for this champion is probably going to be our biggest thing under Keen Strike. You also have Shield Breaker. Shield Breaker requires that, of course, your champions have a 2-star rank, so no problem there. It increases damage inflicted to targets under shield buffs by 25%. So that's kind of a big one, though. If you can get an increase of damage by 25%, and depending on which champions you have supporting your champion, I kind of like that one. You also have Grim Resolve, which increases damage inflicted by 5% when attacking with 50% HP or less. I am one of those that I am very, very careful before I select something that has a or kind of requirement. I don't know how that makes me feel. Now, if I was able to increase damage inflicted by 5%, period, I would love it. But thinking about the number of times currently my El Hain makes it down to 50% HP, normally when she does, we're in a dungeon and the next attack is going to take her out either way it goes. So I think for this one, I may actually pick something a little different. Most of them are going to be under a buff. I think I'm going to go with that one. And then under defense, we have blast proof, so decreases damage received from an AoE attack by 5%. We also have accessible rejuvenation, increases the amount of healing and the value of shield buffs this champion receives by 5%. Or we have Mighty Endurance, decreases the damage received by 10% if this champion has stun, sleep, fear, true fear, freeze, or petrification debuffs. None of those I am just hands over head over heels for. If we had been a little bit further over, improved Powery decreases the damage received by this champion by 8% when this champion is hit with the critical hit. So I think on this side, I am probably going to do the decrease by 5% of AoE attacks. It's kind of what I'm thinking. The decreased damage received by 10% is kind of nice, but I don't know if it would absolutely be worth it at this point. So I may just go in the middle for this one. And this is kind of what you do with Masteries. You go back and forth quite a bit. So we're just going to make a decision. If we need to come back and change it, of course we can. Now you're going to notice the further you move down, the cost is going to increase as well. But you also have other areas that are still available to you even before you move forward. And I think with her, I've got to use those 30 somewhere. So that allows me to kind of open up the areas that I can experience. Now we've made it up to the green scrolls, and these are all the levels as you're moving through Minotaur's dungeon that you will definitely come to. And you guys have to excuse me. I am so stopped up right now. The allergies are draining. But we have Ruthless Ambush, increases damage inflicted by 8% for the first hit on each enemy. Or you can go Whirlwind of Death, increases speed by 6 for each enemy killed by this champion. Stacks across each round in battle up to 18 speed. This one can be interesting. I've put that on a couple of champions before. Heals by 5% of damage inflicted when attacking with 50% or less. And you guys know that or is usually my deal breaker. So I think I'm going to go with Whirlwind on this one, kind of see what she does. We only have 21 scrolls left, so that's not going to be enough. If you make it to your 6th row, just take a look. You're going to need 350 scrolls. So this is why you see so many people that are going in and really running Minotaur's dungeon quite a bit. Now, she's good for right now. I'm going to move over, of course, to Ultimate Death Knight. A lot of you guys have been working on him, building masteries. I see him all throughout the lower tiers of Arena. He can be such a pain, just such a headache overall, but a really good champion. I will say that. So I haven't pulled any dupes of this particular champion. I am not jumping up and down to use books on him either. I have definitely become a lot more um, aware of where I use my books and how I'm using those books because they are hard to come by. So just to revisit, he is a defense-based champion. Heckler of Legends is going to be that one enemy attack. On the second skill, he's going to attack all enemies and has an 80% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack for 2 turns. Also has an 80% chance of placing a fear debuff. So we're kind of thinking of that one as well. Get Comfy places a shield buff. Add 15% continuous heal buff on all allies. So he does have that ability as well. His passive is really impressive, too awesome to die. This is where he is, whenever an ally is attacked, has a 100% chance of completely blocking one hit, decreasing the incoming damage to 0. This champion will receive that damage instead. So this is when he's absorbing those attacks from other champions. And his other passive, Didn't Need Him, increases his champion's HP, defense, and speed by 10% for each dead ally. So gets a little bit stronger each time. Has that aura in all battles of 30%, which can definitely be helpful, which is why you see him so often in the arena. It's going to be a big one for him. So let's go in and kind of see where we started him earlier. Only have 90 scrolls, so we're going to pick 2 or 3 areas to kind of deal with. We did see Heart of Glory before. Increases damage inflicted by 5% when attacking with full HP for this for this champion. Having full HP is probably pretty common for him. I'm going to definitely add to crit rate on this champion. I am going to increase damage inflicted on targets under a shield buff by 25% because for him, that's going to be a big one. And then either I want to decrease damage, perhaps, or you could increase the amount of healing and the value of shield buffs this champion receives by 5%. So it gives him that little extra oomph. You're asking yourself, when I'm going through battles, where is this champion beginning to struggle? Because you're always going to reach a point where you will definitely notice that there is a struggle there. If you guys have not explored Masteries, I definitely encourage you to take a visit over, head into your dungeon. You're going to be in Minotaur's Labyrinth. Guys, this is an area, whether it's basic, advanced, or divine scrolls, you should be running on a regular basis. I definitely want to get this particular account down to level 15. It is probably one of your easier dungeons, to be honest, but it's definitely one, once you're able to make it to stage 15, you are ready to run it consistently. You will see the growth. If I go back and just do a quick little look, remember we set up Elhain and we were looking at those total stats overall. When you look at your total stats, guys, this is what you're trying to get. You want to see these numbers increase more than anything. So I know crit rate is something I want to get to 100%, crit damage as well. I want to see these numbers double, triple along the way. So a lot of good areas, a lot of great places, especially in Classic Arena, that will allow you to improve. So don't skip. Don't skip out on those masteries. Don't wait too long. You can definitely do it. I thank you guys. This is going to be a short one. Just want to get in and make sure you are not forgetting this key area of the game. Once again, if you've stuck around this long, go ahead and subscribe. We put out content every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. I'm your girl, Wicked Raider 22, and I will see you soon.